John, also known as Gilead7. You know the deal. Tomorrow Kings, Echoes of Oratory Music, Crystal Radio, and right now, VirgoTwins, dealing with the song Shadow Work off the ArtSpace record. Good to get into it today. Quick today, and that may or may not happen, we'll see. But you know, the concept of this record, the song, is playing the back. Do you know what it's like to be a part of a scene that seems to function without you, yet when you disappear, you see that it doesn't quite function the same? Maybe you do, maybe you get that, maybe you don't. But a lot of my work as Gilead7 and with Tomorrow Kings, a lot of it has been in the background. You know, there were people who did work that got a little more attention than the work we did, but it seemed like a lot of the work that we did has been foundational to what has progressed with not only Chicago hip hop, but in the scheme of what is now known as indie rap, art rap, progressive rap. Our stamp was always there, and our stamp kind of takes a different direction because people have implemented it, and that's kind of cool. But the question is, do you know what it's like to be a shadow?
The roots maneuver, remember the future. The breathe you brew in hindsight sutra. The play in the background to the music lose ya. Bathe in darkness, the way to tag the target's retarded. The spark of honest blaze out and fade into the margins pardon. The archers aiming flaming arrows at the market. The only hit to get discarded. You was the water sawdust for wood shops you erected, and the bloggers they respected, but not even your shadow gets the credit. You slide the record.
The moral of the song is, and well, there's several, but one of the ones that I'm gonna tell you about is that playing the back and being incognito is a significant and very important function to the scene as a whole and to different types of communities as a whole. However one constitutes and constructs community, that can be different for different people. But the parts that aren't necessarily noticeable many times are the parts that are most central. I always think about this in terms of Jizza from Wu-Tang, who, if you know anything about me, that's one of my favorite MCs. On a man-made lake, there's a sheet of thin ice where unskilled skaters can't figure eight twice. But you know that shit. But you know, in the heyday of the Wu, he wasn't necessarily the most prominent figure in terms of who media we're talking about. But if you talk to crew members, you'll see, well, the genius is who they all return to in many instances. So when I was writing this song, I was thinking about my own existence in various scenes, in the Chicago scene, in the SoCal scene, scenes that I've been a part of, to where, my existence there was like a shadow. I didn't always get the attention other people got, and as I mentioned before, this kind of transcended to our work as Tomorrow Kings. We didn't get the attention other people received, but the work we did was very important, or so we feel, and so other people have told us. But in this song, I'm referencing various people who had similar experiences with various scenes. And various streams of art. How do I start the record? The roots maneuver. Remember the future. I'm talking about Future Shot. Remember the future, the album from Future Shot. The breathe you brew in hindsight sutra, who play in the background to the music lose ya. I always admired people who were shadows in the scenes. Some of those I just mentioned were shadows. But the work they did outside of the light was really important and in many ways furthered what we do as a global hip hop communities, plural. So I was reflecting on that. And when I heard this beat, to even go into the sonic structure of things, I was a fan of a group, a late 90s or mid 90s grunge alt-rock group called Common Children. And I mentioned them in the second verse. They had a record called Skywire. And they were also shadows. There were people who were in the scene they were involved in who got way more attention than they did, but they did a really classic record, or so I thought, and many other people thought. But the soundscape, it reminded me of that. It reminded me of a Neil Young. Again, if you know me, you know I'm a big Neil Young fan. It reminded me of that sort of grungy type of atmosphere. So I told this scattered story about being a shadow alongside that framework that Sandy so greatly produced. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Shadow work. Do you know what it means to be a shadow of a particular scene? And do you know how important shadows are to the structure of what's happening? And some shadows are starting to get more attention at this point, but is it ever done for attention? And that's a question we could debate about. Well, why do we even do this? But it's interesting to see that many shadows who have played the bag are in many ways gaining some light right now, to even kind of reference Plato's allegory to cave, but that's some other shit. But yeah, that's pretty much what this song is about.
Out of sight, alchemist, out of life, catalyst, bound to strike, analyst, in the night, origin, challenger, ignoring them, blasphemous, orphan kid, hazardous, shadow work, Lazarus, valueless, out of sight, alchemist, out of life, catalyst, bound to strike, analyst, in the night, origin, challenger, ignoring them, blasphemous, orphan kid, hazardous, shadow work, Lazarus. Crosby stilled and Nash and left the young, common children clothes on sky wires for fun, anachronisms last through time passes, hanging signs on buildings abandoned, brother to better than fashion, silver bullets in his holographic carriage then vanish, orchestra with 101 strings.